Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, we are going to create this anti-Valentine's double glitter peekaboo tumbler using glitters from glitter pack number 64 from PDB Creative Studio. This pack was yet another amazing collaboration, and these glitters are gorgeous. All 5 are multi-size and color custom mixes, and they all coordinate together really well. These glitter packs are released on the Thursday of the second full week of every month. You can get them a couple of different ways. One is to be on the subscription list, and I will have all of that information linked down below for you. And another way is to grab one of the limited availability packs in the PDB Creative Studio group. Of course, the limited availability packs as well as subscription packs are at a discounted price. However, when these individually release, you can use code BBS21 to get $5 off of your order of $20 or more. And these glitters will be releasing with the restock Wednesday, January 4th at 12 p.m. MST time. This tumbler did not turn out exactly how I had pictured it, and I will tell you the reasons why throughout the tutorial and things that you can do differently to make it even better. And also, unfortunately, we're missing a couple pieces of video clips, but of course, I will walk you through every step and explain it as best as I can without the video. And speaking of, we're hopping right in to a fully glittered tumbler, and that is because I forgot to hit the record button. But what I did was go in first with Stupid Cupid because we have those pinks and the heart shapes and all those cute little things. And I wanted that to pop out from under these 2 glitter colors that we're using on top. So I sprinkled Stupid Cupid all over, and then I went over in just spot areas with Love Kills and In Your Dreams. Now, I had used the epoxy method to apply my glitter. I did not base paint this because the Love Kills has quite a bit of silver in there, so there wasn't a need to base paint this. However, my epoxy had set up pretty well before I started adding on my glitter, to the point to where the glitter wasn't sticking the greatest, and I really had to press it down in there to get excellent coverage. After I finished really patting that glitter down to get it flat, I allowed it to dry for about 45 minutes and then went in with 2 coats of epoxy. Once that epoxy was dry, I sanded this tumbler really well so we can go in with our Peekaboo stencils. I found this girly skull file on Etsy, and I will have that link down below for y'all. I've showed you many times in my prior tutorials on how to lay out images to where you can make your own wrap. That is another piece of the footage that is missing, but if you need some help on how to lay out images to create your own wrap, check back on my prior Peekaboo tumbler tutorials and you will find plenty of options to help walk you through that process. So after I weeded out that excess vinyl, I just went over with a sheet of transfer tape. I'm going to trim this really close so I can make sure I'm not overlapping the edges and I don't overlap whenever we wrap this around the tumbler. I'm going to trim off a little piece of this backing so that once I have it lined up on my tumbler, I can press that exposed sticky portion down and then work my way around the tumbler, removing that back and pressing the stencils down at the same time. Once you have your stencil on, make sure all of those corners and edges are pressed down really well. And then, since we are doing a glitter on top of our stencils, you want to take a hot glue gun and put you some marks or little dots on top of your stencils. That way you can see them once your glitter is on top. Once you have all your hot glue dots on there, just remove all of those little stringy bits so they don't get caught under your glitter, and remove parts of your glitter once you remove your stencils. Now, it was pouring down rain outside, and I didn't necessarily feel the need to spray paint a black on top of these stencils before I went in with my glitter. After I did my glitter, I do definitely wish that I would have waited out the rain and spray painted this a black before going in with my glitter on top. It would have really helped, I guess, distinguish that top layer a little bit more, since we did kind of use the tack it method to apply this glitter. Having a black base underneath this top glitter would have really helped it pop and be a little bit more bold on top. To apply our top layer of glitter, I am going to use the full glue from Southern Belle Glitter. This stuff is incredibly tacky. You don't have to use very much. And once you have your glitter on, you can go straight into applying epoxy. There's no dry time needed because you can dry this up with your heat gun before adding on your glitter and move right along into the next step. All you need is a nice, even, thin layer of this stuff. You can dry it out quickly with your heat gun. And if there's any clumps around your hot glue dots, just take the end of your paintbrush and sort of dab around that after you have dried the remaining parts of the glue. And just spread those dots out a little bit more so that your glue does not smear when you apply your glitter. For this top layer, we are using No Thank You in Black Like My Heart. I wish I would have used a lot more black. My intention was to go heavy with the black in the center and then use the gold on the top and the bottom rims to sort of ombre into the center. Black Like My Heart is a more chunkier mix, and No Thank You has some finer cuts in there. So although I did go heavy around the center with Black Like My Heart, the No Thank You filled in any of those gaps that were left with the black glitter and just filled all of that in and really made this look more gold than black like I wanted it. But there again, if I did base paint this black, the black probably would have been well more distinguished than what it was in the end, even with having more gold on there. After we have all of our glitter on, I'm just going to take my hand and rub this glitter down into that adhesive. I'm going to immediately go in with 2 coats of a matte clear spray paint, and then we can remove our stencils. After removing my stencils, I'm going to go in with a coat of epoxy, and then I sanded down some of the spots that might have been rough or bumpy before we go in with our decals. I couldn't decide if I wanted to use the TeckWrapcraft metallic red or purple, so I decided to go with both since those are both in our base colors. I just cut 2 sheets of this, and I'm just going to alternate in between the purple and the red and apply them to the tumbler. To create these offsets, I highlighted my original image that I created to wrap around the tumbler and created a 0.045 offset to get that really thick, chunky, bold outline. And for our final layer of vinyl, we are using the Black Shimmer TeckWrapcraft Vinyl, and we're just going to lay those over all of our offsets. Now, in a perfect world, we could have lined all 3 of these sheets up together and applied them at once, but I know me, and I know that it would have been a hot mess, so that is why I decided to add them on individually. After we had all of our vinyl on, we can go straight into our final layers of epoxy. For the first of 2 final layers, I wanted to add a little extra to all of that gold that I wasn't too happy about. And I don't really know what was going through my head, but I used the original glitters that we used for our Peekaboo rather than adding more black to the gold areas where I wanted more black. Y'all, I don't know what goes through my head sometimes. I just get annoyed and I try to fix things and don't fix them correctly, obviously. But anyway, I really didn't want this glitter all over the place and covering up my vinyl in a lot of areas. So rather than adding it on in my epoxy, I just sprinkled that onto my paper underneath, and once I had my epoxy on, I dabbed on some of that glitter in the gold areas, hoping to darken it up a bit. And at that point, I realized it wasn't making a huge difference, and I just once again got a little annoyed with this one and rubbed the glitter all over. In the end, I do think that it turned out to be a really cute tumbler. I just know that it could have been a lot better if we used more black to help those images really pop from the tumbler and really see that glitter in the Peekaboo. But hey, that's fine. You have learned from my mistakes, and I know that you will make it even better. Don't forget, all of these glitters are releasing individually at pdbcreativestudio.com on January 4th at 12 p.m. MST time. And you can use code BBS21 to save $5 off of your entire order. That is all for today. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next time.